Last year, two-time champion Clark Campbell came back to conquer the Hillcrest course once again. But teenage sensation Lance Armstrong of Dallas, Texas, had other ideas. He turned back the heat and Campbell and turned in a record time to clinch the competition. Campbell was second. This year, both are back. Armstrong to defend his crown, Campbell to regain it.
KGUL Channel 8 Sports presents the Hillcrest Tulsa Triathlon. Brought to you by Pepsi, Bally's Health Club, Pizza Hut, River Trail Bicycles, Rico, Hillcrest Healthcare System, KMOD, and Bud Light.
Hi, everybody. I'm Channel 8 Sports Director John Wallace, and with me is Race Director Kim Elliott to help us cover today's event. And Kim, when you look at the triathlon, especially the men's competition this year, you have such a top-notch field that the race really is wide open.
Definitely. It's going to probably be determined by who's the best acclimatized to the heat and who's drank the most water the last 2 days. It's going to be hot.
We'll see what happens in just a few moments. Now, helping us along with our coverage today, Jack Bunz and Leanne Taylor. Both of those folks have some pre-race comments. Let's now go to Jack. He has a word on the pre-race conditions. Jack?
You know, John and Kim, a lot of prayers have been answered out here today. This is no question the best day that we've had around the Tulsa area in at least a month. The temperature, about an hour before race time, 75 degrees, and at race time, it's just going to be barely in the 80s. Also, the water conditions, perfect, going to be nice and cool. It is exactly the kind of conditions that these racers wanted. Now, just a few moments ago, we caught up with a few of the athletes as they got ready for this race.
I'm not here to gain respect. I mean, you know, respect is nice, but that's not going to kill me if I don't get any respect, because, you know, I discipline myself, and, you know, I just come to the race just to do my best and to, you know, to win. So, and if you win, I think you have to respect somebody, especially my age.
Thanks, Jack. A real interesting race shaping up both on the men's side and the women's. We have some of the top triathletes in the world, especially on the female side. We're talking about women who have competed in the Ironman triathlon and placed in the top 10. We have a lot of experience on the female side, and we have some newcomers. We have Shannon Delaney. Shannon, I understand as we prepare for this race today, you're 20 years old. You've only been competing for a couple of years. How do you see that's going to affect this race today?
It's going to make it interesting just for me. I mean, when I was an age grouper, I used to look up to these guys, so it's, you know, it's nice to be with them. You know, it's being introduced with them and the whole works. It's, being young, it's nice to know that I have nothing to lose. And it's just a matter of, you know, being the swimmer of the group helps a lot, too.
How do you think that your strategy today is going to unfold before you?
Being the swimmer, it's going to be a matter of, it's got to be all out at the swim and hopefully just hold that lead as long as I can. And basically want to go as hard as I can until someone catches me, and then definitely just try to mentally, it's always been hard for me mentally to accept the fact that someone's going to pass me on the bike, you know, because it's just being a swimmer. I'm strong, but there's a lot of experience out there today, and I just want to be able to hang with them for as long as I can on the whole race.
Well, good luck to you. We'll see how that game plan works against some of these other ladies. Back to you, John.
Thank you very much, Leanne, and we'll be back with more coverage on the Hillcrest Triathlon right after this timeout. The swim has turned into a two-man race. David Kirk, the Canadian, leading right now over Clark Campbell, the native of Coffeyville, Kansas. What they have ahead of them, of course, is the transition from the swim to the bike, and Leanne Taylor has more on that.
Once the athletes come out of the water, they're going to have to make a mad dash up this incline. They're going to race over to here to where the bike racks are. Now, the professional triathletes are all stationed here. They're usually the first ones out of the water. The amateurs are a little bit further on down. But as quick as they can, they're going to have to get their gear together, get their biking helmet, their shoes on. This time is going to be critical because in many times this is where you can either make or break the race. You're going to have to make sure that that transition is a smooth one. Many of these triathletes have practiced this transition to make it as smoothly as possible so that they will not be having to make up time along the race. We'll see what happens as the race unfolds today.
Leanne Taylor now is standing by with the first woman out of the water. Leanne, down by the bike competition where it begins, and there she is.
The first female out of the water is the strongest swimmer of the female triathletes. Shannon Delaney, Del Mar, California. Fine swimmer, outstanding swimmer. And this is her event right here, and she's getting ready to go on to the cycling. As you can see, last year's winner over the corner, Lance Armstrong, out of the water as well, getting ready to face the hills as he goes into Tulsa. Shannon said earlier that this was her strength today. Looks like everything's going her way in terms of the female event. She's now off. Heading on out. Very strong competitor right there and a very young triathlete.
So Shannon Delaney is the first out of the water. Joanne Ernst, Julie Olson, Nancy Harrison, where are you? Shannon's got the lead. Coming out of the park, though, it is Clark Campbell, who passed David Kirk. You can see him here. Clark with a slight lead. Jack Buns is with the leaders. And Jack, give us an update on that competition.
John, at this point, it's simply unbelievable. Clark Campbell, his approach at this point here on Highway 51, he's come out of the park and around, and he is incredibly far in front of everybody else. Lance Armstrong, the defending champion at this point, really nowhere to be found. I'm sure we'll hear from him later, but at this point, Clark Campbell is running away with it. We'll see if maybe he started out a little bit too fast or not, but at this point, as I said earlier, he is a swimmer, a great swimmer, and he got out of the water in a hurry, and right now, he is blowing him away.
He is the two-time champion, too, Kim. A two-time champion is Clark Campbell, so you would expect something like this from Clark to get off to such a good start. Leanne now has more on the adjustments the bikers have to make.
This has been the roughest 1 mile that these cyclists will face. It's an uphill battle the whole way till they get to here. It's a little bit more even as they head into their next mile, but this first 2 miles, their bodies are trying to adjust, having come out of that water with the swim motion, trying to adjust to the cycling motion. John?
You take a look at him physically, and you can see that he does not look like a normal 16-year-old. He trains an awful lot, to say the least. 40 to 50 miles is what he will run in a week's time. He will cycle possibly as much as 200 miles in a week, and he will swim between 10,000 and 15,000 meters.
Lance Armstrong, just an incredible athlete at such an early age. Let's now meet Lance Armstrong, the teenager from Dallas, Texas. Lance Armstrong returns to the Hillcrest Triathlon a year wiser and stronger and ready to defend his title.
It's important to come back and win again, and just to prove to everybody else that that you're one of the top competitors.
Until this year, a bike was the only set of wheels Lance could legally drive. At such an early age, he is well on his way to becoming one of the top triathletes in the world. But Armstrong realizes that will come in time.
Maybe 5-6 years down the line, I'll have a jump on people. But right now, these guys are so much older than me, and they've got the jump on me in the base. I mean, these guys have been training for so long, doing all this stuff.
Lance goes to high school in Dallas, but spends his summers training in Delmarva, California, where the weather is sunny and the air very dry.
Oh, it's like 70 right now, and it's almost cold. In the mornings, if you get them right, you're cold. And out here, this is very hot, and this is humid. But I think if we're starting at 7:30 in the morning, this race is going to last about an hour and 40 minutes. It's not going to be a problem.
Here he comes, the winner once again. I'm telling you, this young man is something else. He breaks the course record. He shatters the course record by about 2 minutes. Lance Armstrong from Dallas, Texas, the winner this year of the Hillcrest Triathlon. What a great moment for him.
Man, it's hot out here. It is so hot. Oh, I never heard this bad.
Can you believe how well you made up time? To be honest, I kind of gave you for lost after, Clark was so far ahead.
Swim, I felt I was a little at a disadvantage because I didn't have the wetsuit. But, you know, I'm not about to give up. So I just went as hard as I could. Caught David Kirk. Kept feeling stronger. Caught, Clark. And then I just turned the motors on from there. And apparently I left a little bit of it out on the back course because I was hurting on that run. I started out the first mile, felt good. And the humidity started getting me.
Was it tough for the second half of it when you came back? Was the heat worse?
I'm really tired. This is, another mile or two. I'd be laying down out there. It was hard.
Pretty good race for you today.
Real good race.
What do you think was your advantage today?
The bike. I'm a strong biker. Very strong biker. Can't swim with a leg. I had a wetsuit on the full bid.
What do you think about this heat? It seems to be affecting a lot of the top racers today. It's a big surprise.
Yeah, well, I don't even know. What is the temperature right now?
I don't have a clue.
Yeah, no, it's hot.
Yeah.
But it's dry, so it's not too bad. I don't feel the humidity. So I just came up from Florida, and it's a lot worse humid down there. But it is hot.
What about those hills? What were those like?
Oh, I wasn't prepared for those at all. I've been training in Florida, and they ate my lunch. That was tough. It was a really good course, well monitored. Volunteers are fantastic. Really good race.
There comes the women's champion. So it is not Joanne Ernst. It is Julie Olson who passed Joanne Ernst in the run. And in comes Julie Olson, looking very strong at the finish. 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 42 seconds. So Julie Olson, the winner this year of the Hillcrest Triathlon's female race.
And she also broke the course record here. I'm amazed. I did not think she would catch Joanne. No way.
And here comes Joanne Ernst. She looks pretty strong, too, but just couldn't hold off the challenge of the youngster. I say youngster, 25, 26 years old from St. Paul, Minnesota. Leanne Taylor now has the female champion. Leanne?
Julie, good job here. How you feeling at this point?
Pretty good considering the humidity and the heat.
Yeah.
I had to really go fast in the last half of the run because I had about 40 seconds to make up on Joanne. I didn't think I could get it, but I thought, well, what the heck, try it. And it worked. It was tough.
A lot of people were saying, you know, Joanne is a real strong athlete, that she was going out there looking strong the whole time. Somebody in the crowd, though, said Julie Olson can pick this up in the run, and you did it.
Yeah. On the first half of the run, I couldn't make up any time on her. And she looked strong at the turnaround, but I decided to go for the record. I didn't think I was going to pass her. But as I pushed it more and more, I just reeled her in a little bit at a time.